The air was still in the forest, punctuated only by the soft rustle of leaves. Shadows danced gently on the ground, cast by the branches above. "Master," he began, "my mind is burdened with doubts, questioning every step I take on this path of awakening." Buddha listened, his gaze steady, his presence radiating an unshakable calm, waiting for the disciple to continue. "I strive with diligence, yet doubt follows me like a shadow, whispering I am not good enough." Buddha softly replied, "Doubt is the whisper of fear, rising from confusion, obscuring the clarity of your inner wisdom." He gestured toward the grove, where the wind danced among the leaves, each movement purposeful, each rustle harmonious. "Look at these trees," Buddha said. "They do not doubt the sun's light nor question their roots beneath the earth." Doubt arises when the mind forgets its connection to the truth, and sees itself as separate from the whole, just as shadows cannot exist without light. Doubt exists as an invitation to rediscover the light within. The disciple bowed his head, the weight of his doubt visible in his posture. Still yearning for clarity and peace, Buddha continued, "Tell me, when you walk a path at night, and darkness veils the ground, do you abandon the road?" The disciple shook his head, saying, "No, Master, I continue walking, trusting the road will lead me to the destination." Buddha nodded, his smile gentle yet filled with profound insight, as he began a parable to illuminate his teaching. A traveler once wandered a vast desert. Uncertain of the direction, doubtful he would find the oasis he sought, he paused often, questioning his path, doubting the footprints he left behind, wondering if he was lost forever. One day, he met a hermit who gave him simple advice: "Take each step and trust the wisdom of your feet." The traveler followed the advice, and though doubt remained, he kept walking, until he found the oasis at journey's end. Buddha looked deeply into the disciple's eyes, as though speaking directly to his soul through the timeless truth of the story. "Your doubt, like the desert wind, may stir dust around your feet, but your inner wisdom remains unshaken beneath. Breathe, and with each breath remember, the source of wisdom is already within you, waiting for you to trust its flow." The disciple sat, absorbing the teaching like a parched land receiving rain, his heart opening to the possibility of trust. Buddha placed his hand upon the disciple's shoulder, grounding him in the warmth and comfort of human connection and compassion. The journey of doubt is not one to eliminate it, but to walk alongside it, finding your strength within the doubt. Each time doubt rises, greet it not with fear but with curiosity. Ask what it is trying to teach you about yourself. In this practice, doubt becomes a teacher, guiding you to reflect on the nature of wisdom dwelling within your own being. The grove fell silent, the disciples deeply immersed in the unfolding wisdom of their teacher, the embodiment of timeless truth. Buddha gestured toward the moon above, its silver light softly illuminating the grove, creating an atmosphere of peaceful serenity. "Behold the moon," Buddha said. "It shines without hesitation, knowing its light reaches even the darkest corners of the night. Your inner light is no different than the moon's glow. It is constant, even when unseen, even when obscured. Close your eyes and breathe with the moon. Let its steady light remind you of the constancy of your inner wisdom." The disciple obeyed, closing his eyes, his breath slow and deep, aligning his being with the rhythm of the moonlit grove. The shadows within his mind slowly began to dissipate, replaced by a quiet understanding he had long sought but never found. Buddha's voice carried through the night, resonating with the souls gathered. Doubt and fear are transient, wisdom and truth eternal. As water reflects the sky without hesitation, so too must your soul reflect the truth you hold deep within. When the waters are disturbed, the image wavers, yet the essence of the reflection remains pure beneath the surface. Let your heart embrace its true nature, as the river embraces its course. Flowing effortlessly toward its destination, the disciple opened his eyes. His face calm, his mind clearer, his soul lighter, as if freed from invisible chains. Buddha smiled, observing the transformation. Knowing the seed of trust had taken root within the disciple's heart and mind, wisdom is not found in great achievements or distant lands, Buddha said. It is found in the stillness of your being. Seek not validation from others, for the source of your wisdom does not reside in their approval, but within your soul. As you awaken to this truth, each step upon your path becomes purposeful. Your doubt becomes a mere shadow of reflection. The disciples meditated upon these words, the grove alive with their silent understanding, each finding their inner wisdom's steady light. The night passed. The grove became quiet, filled with the presence of the disciples absorbing Buddha's teaching on trusting their inner wisdom. Under the timeless gaze of the moon and stars, they learned to walk with doubt, no longer fearing its fleeting shadows. Another day, another lesson unfolded beneath the shade of the ancient Bodhi tree, its roots intertwined with the earth. The disciples gathered, their eyes full of questions and their hearts heavy with the burdens of doubt and comparison. Buddha sat quietly, his presence calming the restless energy surrounding him, waiting patiently for the moment to speak. A young disciple stood and approached Buddha, his face etched with the strain of measuring himself against the achievements of others. Master, he began, his voice trembling, I feel inadequate when I see the wisdom and accomplishments of the great sages. Buddha observed the disciple, his gaze steady, his demeanor compassionate, as he reached for a fallen leaf nearby, holding the leaf. Buddha said, this leaf does not compare itself to the fruit nor envy the flower's bloom. The leaf fulfills its purpose without questioning its worth, embracing its unique role in the grand design of existence. The disciple listened intently, his brow furrowing as he struggled to internalize the profound simplicity of the Buddha's words. Buddha continued, tell me, does the river compare its flow to the ocean, or the mountain question the height of the sky? All of existence simply is, each part contributing to the whole without judgment or self-imposed limitations. The disciple lowered his gaze, his doubts still whispering within. Yet the seeds of understanding began to take root. Buddha stood, walking to the tree and placing his hand on its trunk, inviting the disciple to join him. This tree stands tall, yet it bends and sways with the wind, adapting without losing its connection to the earth. It does not resist the storm nor strive to be unyielding. It trusts its roots and allows flexibility to guide it. The disciple touched the tree, his hand trembling, feeling the strength and resilience held within its ancient, weathered bark. Your doubts are like the wind, sometimes gentle, sometimes fierce, but always transient, unable to uproot your inner truth. Trust is not the absence of doubt but the act of standing firm, while allowing yourself to adapt and grow. The disciple nodded slowly, his breathing steadying as the weight of his comparisons began to feel less overwhelming. Buddha turned to the other disciples and spoke, his voice clear and resonant, carrying the lesson to all present. Each of you is like a tree in this grove, unique in form and presence, yet rooted in the same earth. Your wisdom is not diminished by another's brilliance, for the forest thrives on the diversity of its trees. As one tree grows, it shelters the saplings below, creating a balance that nourishes the entire grove. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves above, a symphony of nature underscoring the Buddha's timeless wisdom and compassionate presence. Sit now, and breathe with the rhythm of the tree. Feel its grounded strength and its harmonious dance with the wind. The disciples closed their eyes, their breaths aligning with the natural pulse of the grove, their minds seeking the wisdom within. The young disciple's heart began to quiet, the words of Buddha merging with the whispers of his inner voice, offering peace, Buddha placed his hand on the disciple's shoulder, anchoring him in the moment, and continued his teaching with a parable. There was once a reed standing near a mighty oak, the reed constantly swaying as the oak stood unyielding against the wind. When a great storm came, the reed bent and yielded, surviving the tempest, while the oak fell, unable to withstand its force. Flexibility is not weakness, and trust in your own nature allows you to adapt without breaking under life's pressures. The disciple opened his eyes, meeting Buddha's gaze, the parable weaving its truth into the fabric of his understanding. Master, the disciple said softly, I see now that my doubts and comparisons have kept me from trusting my own path. Buddha smiled gently, the corners of his mouth lifting as he saw the growth within the disciple's recognition of the truth. Each step forward is an act of trust, not in the certainty of the road, but in the strength of your journey. Let the storm within you clear, and as the skies open, you will find your path illuminated by the light within. The grove remained silent, the disciples reflecting deeply on the lesson, their breaths synchronizing with the natural rhythm of life. As the day gave way to evening, the golden light of the setting sun filtered through the branches of the Bodhi tree. Buddha's voice carried through the tranquil grove, his words resonating with the timeless truth of self-acceptance and inner wisdom. Comparison steals the joy of your journey, chaining you to a mirage of perfection that does not serve your awakening. Let each of you bloom as you are, embracing the unique expression of your soul and the wisdom it carries. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and determination to honor their paths with trust and authenticity. The young disciple sat once more beneath the tree, his doubts quieted, his spirit steadied, his resolve strengthened by Buddha's words. The grove became a sanctuary of stillness, the energy of the teaching lingering in the air, guiding all who were present. Another day, another lesson, and the seeds of trust planted by Buddha grew within the disciples, nurturing their path to awakening. Another day, another teaching unfolded near the serene banks of the Anoma river, its waters mirroring the vastness of the sky. The disciples gathered, their reflections visible on the river's surface, each one silently pondering the depths of their inner struggles. Buddha sat on the riverbank, his robes blending with the earth, as calm and steady as the river's gentle flow. One disciple stepped forward, his face etched with turmoil, his gaze cast downward, unable to meet Buddha's compassionate eyes. Master, he began, his voice trembling, I see my reflection, but it feels foreign, as though it is not truly me. Buddha looked at him, his expression soft but penetrating, and he gestured toward the rippling water beside them. Tell me, Buddha said, when the surface of the water ripples, does it change the essence of the river below? The disciple hesitated, then replied, No, Master, the river remains the same, flowing steadily beneath the disturbed surface. Buddha nodded, his smile faint but filled with profound understanding of the disciple's inner turmoil and the lesson ahead. So it is with your soul, Buddha said. The essence remains steady, though the mind's ripples may obscure its reflection. The disciple sat beside Buddha, staring into the river's depths, the ripples casting shifting patterns upon his uncertain thoughts. Buddha picked up a smooth stone, holding it out for the disciple to see before gently dropping it into the water. Observe, Buddha said. The ripples spread outward, disrupting the reflection, yet the water's nature remains unchanged beneath the surface. Your doubts are like the ripples, temporary disturbances, unable to alter the truth of your inner wisdom and essence. The disciple leaned closer to the water, watching as the ripples gradually faded, leaving the surface still and reflective once more. Master, the disciple said, how can I trust this essence when the ripples of doubt distort my understanding of it? Buddha reached out, his hand hovering above the water, creating gentle ripples with a single movement of his fingertips. Doubt is not your enemy, Buddha said. It is a teacher, pointing you toward the need for stillness and clarity. When the mind becomes still, the ripples fade, and the reflection becomes clear, revealing the truth that always remains. The disciple pondered these words, his breath slowing, aligning with the tranquil rhythm of the river flowing endlessly onward. Buddha turned to the gathered disciples, his voice carrying the timeless wisdom that resonated with each individual soul. Each of you stands before this river, seeing a reflection that feels separate, yet it is not separate at all. The reflection is simply the surface, a momentary glimpse, while the truth of your essence flows deep within. To trust your inner wisdom is to recognize that the disturbances on the surface do not define the whole. A soft breeze rippled across the river, the sunlight glinting off its surface, enhancing the stillness of the moment. Buddha gestured toward the sky, its vastness mirrored in the river, a reminder of the interconnected nature of existence. The sky does not question the clouds that pass through it, nor does the river resist the reflection it holds. So too must you accept the thoughts and doubts that arise, without identifying them as the totality of your being. The disciple lowered his head, tears welling in his eyes, the weight of his doubts slowly lifting as understanding emerged. Buddha placed his hand on the disciple's shoulder, grounding him with compassion, his presence a beacon of unwavering support. Close your eyes, Buddha said, and breathe with the river. Let its flow guide you to the stillness within. The disciple obeyed, his breath deep and steady, his heart opening to the truth and trust. Buddha's words revealed, as silence enveloped the grove. The disciples followed, their breaths synchronized, their minds beginning to embrace the wisdom within. Buddha's voice broke the stillness, resonating like the river's current, steady, profound, and unyielding in its gentle strength. When your reflection wavers, remember that the source of the image lies deeper, untouched by the surface ripples of doubt. Your essence flows like the river, steadfast and true, unaffected by the transient disturbances of fear or uncertainty. The disciple opened his eyes, his vision clearer, his soul lighter, the river's truth and Buddha's words illuminating his path. Master, he said softly, I understand now that my doubts do not define me. They are but a fleeting shadow. Buddha smiled, his expression filled with quiet joy, seeing the transformation within the disciple's heart and understanding. The journey to trust is not about removing the ripples but recognizing the unchanging truth beneath their fleeting presence. Each of you carries this truth within, a light unwavering, even when obscured, a source of wisdom waiting to be trusted. The grove grew quiet, the disciples lost in reflection, their hearts aligning with the universal rhythm of trust and understanding. Another day, another teaching shared, and the ripples of doubt began to fade, replaced by the stillness of inner wisdom. The Anoma river continued its journey, its flow eternal, its truth unchanging, a mirror of the disciples' own awakening. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.